Hi everybody, I'm Chef Jeffrey Gardner with SouthernKitchen.com. Today we are going to be making chicken and dumplings. A good chicken and dumplings is one of those classic Southern comfort food dishes, and I'm going to walk you through how to put together what I think is a fairly quick and easy version. As you can see, I have all my ingredients laid out in front of me, but in case you missed them, a full list of ingredients and instructions are listed below. So to start our chicken and dumplings, we're going to make just a basic what we call a veloute sauce. We're going to start with a little bit of oil and some butter. This is going to become the base of what will eventually be a roux. But as the butter is melting, I've got some carrots and onion that we're going to cook and soften up. They'll soften further as the sauce builds, so right now we're just looking to get the onions translucent. We're also going to add some bay leaves just to impart their flavor as the vegetables soften. A quick pinch of salt will help draw out some of the moisture and hurry the process along. Our onions are soft and translucent. We wanted to wait to get to that stage before we add the garlic and the thyme, just so the garlic didn't burn. Some chopped fresh thyme as well. It's going to have good herbaceous notes throughout our sauce. You're just going to want to cook this for about 30 seconds to a minute until the garlic and thyme are fragrant. All of our aromatics are fragrant, so now we're going to add some flour to build our roux. A roux is just equal parts by weight of flour and fat. We're going to cook it to coat all the grains of starch with everything that's in the bottom of the pot to make sure that the flour doesn't leave its starchy flavor behind and gets to achieve its full thickening power in the sauce. Should take about 2 minutes. So once some of the starchiness is cooked out of the flour, we're going to add our chicken stock. We're going to add this a few cups at a time, 1.5 to 2 cups, and let it come up to a simmer each time. This is going to make sure that our sauce doesn't get too thick or too thin. We can control how much we want to add each time. So this is going to simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes to thicken up. While this is simmering, we're going to make the batter for our dumplings. To make our dumplings, we're going to start with some all-purpose flour, then I'm going to add some baking powder and salt. These dumplings are going to simmer inside of our sauce, so the baking powder is going to help leave them nice and fluffy. Just take a fork and stir that around. So our dry ingredients are ready right there. We're going to add the wet ingredients together over here. I've got 2 eggs. I'm just going to lightly beat. Once our eggs are beaten, we're going to add some buttermilk. The acidity from the buttermilk against the baking powder will help with the leavening, and it'll just kind of impart a nice tang to our dumplings. And we're going to add our wet ingredients to our dry. Very important here, you can see I'm just using a fork. You can use your hand if you want to. You don't want to overwork these. The more these get worked, the more of a risk you're going to have of tough, kind of leaden dumplings. We want light and fluffy, so as little work just to incorporate these together is all you need. Just very slow, large, deliberate strokes. So our dough's been brought together. We're going to let this hang out for just a second. We're going to add the chicken to our pot. I have the meat pulled from one entire roasted chicken. Check out SpringerMTN.com to find our other video that we made on how to roast a whole chicken. But all the meat's been pulled. We're just going to let this simmer in our sauce. As you can see, there's plenty of liquid left even after we add our chicken. It's going to help poach our dumplings. Our broth is simmering with the chicken in. It smells amazing right now. We're going to add our dumplings. The easiest way to do this is just with 2 spoons. Use one to scoop and one to kind of get it off the edge of this other spoon. It's a little larger than tablespoon size, but you can make them whatever size you like. Just make sure that you give enough space in between each dumpling that they're not crowded. Great thing about this is we left the broth a little bit on the thin side, so some of the residual flour as the dumplings start to break down will help thicken the sauce as well. With our dumplings all in the pot, we're going to cover it just to simmer for a little longer. What this is also going to do is poach the dumplings from the bottom and then steam them from the top. They're going to be so fluffy by the time we're done, it's going to be delicious. Leave this on for about 10 minutes. It's been about 10 minutes, time to unveil. Oh, this looks fantastic. Our dumplings have almost doubled in size. You can even touch them just to make sure. We want them to spring back on you a little bit, and they're doing that, so they're cooked all the way through. We're going to add a final note of richness, just a touch of heavy cream, as well as some chopped parsley. Stir it around, make sure. As you can see, our dumplings haven't stuck together, but just make sure that none of them did. So once our cream's incorporated, it's time to serve. I like to get some of my sauce with the chicken, my good hearty base, if you get a dumpling or 2 along for the ride, and then at the end, 2 or 3 dumplings per bowl. And just for a final touch, I like to garnish with some freshly cracked black pepper. I don't know about y'all, but I'm about ready to tear into this. For more recipes like this, visit SpringerMTN.com. Thanks so much for watching.